administration is going to devote the remainder of the summer to a special focus on 5 ways to make gains in getting those of you who are unvaccinated vaccinated. We need to go to community by community, neighborhood by neighborhood, and oftentimes door to door, literally knocking on doors, to get help to the remaining people protected from the virus.
That door-to-door reference made some folks nervous on social media today, but a very serious issue. Getting folks vaccinated with COVID variants still coming forward. Let's bring in our panel. Molly Hemingway, senior editor at The Federalist, Leslie Marshall, Democratic strategist, and former White House press secretary Ari Fleischer. Welcome to all of you. Molly, are they stuck right now in terms of getting folks to get the vaccinations?
Well, it's worth taking a step back and thinking about what's been accomplished in the last year. Operation Warp Speed was an amazing success, a Manhattan project level success, where you had this big task, getting the vaccine developed, making sure there were enough doses, figuring out a distribution plan, and implementing that distribution plan so that by the time President Biden took office, we were doing 1 million doses a day. This is all an amazing achievement, and I've talked to people in Operation Warp Speed, and they think President Biden has done a good job of continuing the plan that they put forth. But it is a free country. You know, people have been able to take the vaccine since May. If they don't want to take it, you know, you can try and persuade them. But anyone who wants it can take it. And I think it's time that the Biden administration really focus on moving past this global pandemic, reopening the economy, and understanding that that we've had great success with this vaccination project.
Among the concerns right now, variants. Let's play this clip.
Early data suggests that the vaccines continue to work against the variants, including this variant, and that's why we've been focusing so much on increasing vaccine.
A variety of voices there. Leslie, does that convince folks to go get the vaccine?
No, it doesn't, and it's really sad because we're seeing that in a lot of rural communities and red states, people that just don't want to get the vaccine. The number that I saw this morning was 47.9% fully vaccinated. Either way you look at it, you have approximately half of our population. That's not good enough. I know they say herd immunity is antiquated, but the reality is if you have a virus and 2/3 of the population are vaccinated, it really doesn't have as many people to bounce off of, and it can die out and die out quicker. With regard to the variants, we have now seen in approximately half the states the Delta variant, and the numbers picking up in this country. And of course, now there is concern about the Lambda variant coming out of Peru, and the concern there is that the vaccination might not be enough. So getting vaccinated is key. And you know, I know everybody wants the economy to open and COVID to be in our rearview mirror. I'm one of the most impatient people alive. I get it. But you know, we want to do this safely. And Secretary Blinken has been meeting with European officials. They're talking about reopening the country. They're talking about when to do that, the right way to do that, and seeking medical advice in order to do that properly so we don't overburden, as we did last year, our healthcare system and our healthcare workers and providers.
Ari, you've been in your share of senior staff meetings at a White House and also been at that podium. Any advice for the people who are currently in those jobs on getting folks vaccinated?
Well, first, I'd start with what's good and what's working. I mean, the fact of the matter, credit goes to the American people. 2/3 of all Americans over 18 have gotten 1 shot. 58%, almost 60% have gotten 2. And let's go to senior citizens, the most vulnerable group. When it comes to getting shots for seniors, almost 90% of seniors, 65 and up, have gotten 1 shot, and 78.6% of seniors have gotten 2 shots. So there's a lot of good going on, and when you get your shots, you're immune. And if you're immune, you can act like you're immune. And that's the message I would give to the people who aren't getting their shots. If you want to do the things that the other people in society are doing, not wearing masks, traveling at your will, going to crowded ball games, get your shots. There are groups that are lagging, and it includes a racial component to it too. The group that's getting their shots at the highest percentage in America are Asians, followed by whites, followed by Hispanics, followed by African Americans. I don't know if it's traditional distrust of government, of doctors, but these are the groups now, and if it means going door to door, go door to door. Go whatever you have to do, wherever you have to go. Everybody benefits when more people are getting their shots.
Okay, another hot topic, a very violent Independence Day weekend in some of America's largest cities. We have some numbers to show you. Nationwide, 244 shooting incidents reported, 69 in the city of Chicago, 29 in New York City. Molly, what do we do?
We have a violent crime surge that is hitting cities nationwide, and we already kind of know what to do about crime. It requires policing. It requires putting police in neighborhoods where crime is being committed. Unfortunately, for the last year and a half, elites have pushed a defund the police narrative, have basically tried to wage war against policing in America, and the repercussions of this, the results of this, are that people are dying, being killed, are being victims of other violent crimes, and it's also going to be a huge political issue going forward. The Democratic Party tied itself to this anti-police movement, this idea that America is systemically racist and that policing is part of this. And so people are really going to react strongly in the coming midterm elections. And so you might see Democrats start to pull back a little bit from some of their rhetoric.
Leslie, your thoughts?
Well, I and others, that the majority of my party and the voters and the elected officials who are Democrats or centrist and moderates like the president, we do not believe in defund the police. When that mantra first came out, I said, what? That's not a good idea. And certainly politically it'll be beneficial for some Republicans. Molly's right on that. But we also have to look at the statistics. Let's take Chicago. I lived there for 4 years, great city, but they've always had a problem with crime, and specifically gun crimes, on the south and west side. And that's with the areas that we're seeing these numbers and this crime escalate, not to the numbers we saw in the 70s when we had a heavy police force there. So it's not just about police or defund the police, because we're seeing high numbers in cities across the board in our country, specifically homicides. Same in New York. We see areas within Brooklyn and the Bronx where we've had a higher number of crimes with guns prior to COVID and in the years past. So it's not just about putting more police on the street or an attitude toward police. It also has to do with guns on the street, and it has to do with people in poorer communities who were hit hardest after this pandemic with loss of job, loss of home, and loss of money.
Ari, we're up against the clock, but I want to get your thoughts.
It is about attitude toward police. When you send the police the message, you're all a bunch of racists who kill people, and then you get a video, police are going to pull back. They are not going to do their jobs, and that endangers everybody. So what you need to do, if you're a mayor, if you're a governor, you say to the police, if you're Eric Chauvin, we will never have your back. If you're not, we will, and we have your back. That's the message.
All right, panelists, when we come back, tomorrow's headlines. Finally tonight, a look at tomorrow's headlines. Molly, lead us off.
Yes, as U.S. corporations reward athletes for anti-American sentiment, the U.S. Olympic team will be evenly divided between those athletes who love and those who hate the country they are blessed to represent.
Leslie, you're up next.
Molly and I didn't confer about Olympics. Anyway, China and Russia see a surge in support for their Olympic athletes after watching the United States turn its back on players who turned their back on the American flag. Russia can't play their national anthem or carry their flag at the Olympics due to drug sanctions.